not fall asleep. I did not fall asleep. I did not fall asleep. I'm so sorry for the concern. I got held over at work. Hi, Diesel. I feel like I haven't seen you in a hot second, Diesel. How are you? I'm so sorry, chat. I got held over at work. And then like, I should have left like very early, but not early, but I should have like, left. Missy's. Yeah, sorry. My allergies have been so bad today. No, I did not have soup incident. I was just at work. I tweeted it and I put it in the community tab. But ever since they updated YouTube, it's very hard for me to use the community tab on mobile. I was at work typing under my desk, like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm late, chat, I'm late. I'm sorry, go mena side chat, go mena, I'm a late, chato, go meno, chato, go men. Yeah, but it's really hard to post stuff from like the mobile on YouTube now in the community tab. You have to like go through like a whole story situation. It's really annoying. But yes, that's where I was. I was at work suffering. So I dyed my hair. Yeah. So I needed tactical. My mic is dying on me. Let me try to fix it. Hang on. I told you before that like yesterday and the day before, they're like, Mion, your mic is like kind of jogged, like we can't hear you. And I think my mic's just on its last legs and I need to get a new mic, but I need to save up to get a new mic because we have new surprises coming, Mionchies. We have new flesh that shall be bestowed upon you, but it cost an arm and it cost a leg. It cost many zombie parts, but I do have a surprise coming up in a few months. So new look is the only guess you're gonna get, but it did in fact cost quite the arm and quite the leg. But I have to save up for a new mic because my mic is dying. Oh my god, tactical. Yesterday, you weren't here, right, in the morning stream? Which one of you frickers? Which one? One of the Mionchies. One of the Munchies. Like, I was, one of the Munchies started, they're like, oh my god, Mion, your mic's really bad. I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, then they started saying, act tactical temper. I was like, hey, no way! You guys are freaking sane. You guys are mentally ill. Stop tagging that poor man. He's probably sleeping. But yeah, my mic's on its last legs. Chat. But I do have exciting things coming up that I have put stuff into. But guys, I'm gonna get to stream so much this week because I got all of my hours cut. Because I'm naughty. I'm kidding. They're having technical issues at my job. And then now that I have bright orange hair, they want to move me to a different department. Even though I got manager consent to dye my hair orange. So I dyed my hair orange. Because I got manager consent to dye my hair orange. And now they're like, we don't like it. So they're moving me to a different department, which is stupid. But whatever. But so they're like, yeah, so we are canceling all of your shifts this week. And I'm like, I just put a lot of money down for something. I cannot have my shift canceled. What are you doing? What? which you'll like it a lot, I promise. So, I want to. They did set me up! Well, no, my manager was pissed. My manager was like, you're the only one who communicates with me. You're the only one who talks to me. You're the only one that actually does their goddamn job. Why do they care now? And they're like, they literally messed up your schedule because they were trying out some like tech thing during my work, and because of the tech thing they were trying, it kept interrupting my work. And they're like, oh yeah, like the sales are really bad. Why do you think that is? Is it because of your orange hair? And I'm like, no, maybe it's because I could not sell because the software was off. Maybe because you turned the goddamn software off. And because I couldn't do anything for freaking 45 minutes because the software was off. What do you mean? So, no, she loves me. She was like, I felt really bad. She was like, I took a pay cut. I want pay! Daisuki da yo. She's like, I took a pay cut. They just fired someone. I hate it here. And I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's okay. Because now I get to spend more time with you. Being weird. So, I do want to start off by saying that this stream is like spoiler central. So if you have not seen the new Nosferatus by Robert Eggers, and you want to see it without being spoiled, leave! Oh my, they were literally rolling. I literally had 5 people in my room with me, and I'm on the computer trying to do things. And like, yeah, we're gonna try this out right now. And I was like, I'm live. Try it out while I'm live? What do you mean try it out while I'm like working right now? And they were like, yeah, we're gonna try it out right now. So the computer froze, and then it kept kicking me out of the software, and then the software was upside down, and then it froze again, and then it kept kicking me out, and I maybe got in a good 15 minutes in the software before it all shut down. Yeah, perfect time to try something out on my goddamn shift. And my manager was like, she's like, so why do you think that didn't work? And I was like, why do you think? She's like, because it was jogged. And I was like, yes, that's correct. Because it was awful. It was awful. So, she's like, yeah, they canceled all your things because they want to move you to a different department. And I was like, and I'm like, is it because they want to move me to a different department? Or is it because they need more time to set up the software? The answer is they need more time to set up the software because nothing is working. So they're like, yeah, but typical. And she was like really mad for me. She's like, I can't believe they canceled your shift. I'm like, I just got paid. I'm okay, but you know, I'm okay, but still, it's very stressful. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, that's why I was late. Because I was late because they were trying new crap out. New tech stuff and breaking everything. And then also I gossiped with my manager after because my manager was like, it's so disrespectful they would do this to you. This is so disrespectful. I can't believe they would treat you like this. I'm like, I'm fine, but thank you, babes. Anyway, so this stream contains spoilers. So Robert Eggers, hi Tada! Nosferatus. So, I want to start off by saying that Robert Eggers, I like maybe like 2 directors. Guillermo del Toro, and Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers have a very specific way that he films. And he, for example, does not use light on his set. He only uses candlelight. He has no big lights. He only lights his set with candlelight, etc. In Nosferatus, there's a scene with rats. Instead of doing CGI, he got 8,000 rats. It was like 3,000 rats or 8,000 rats. Bill Skarsgård, who played Nosferatus, said it was 8,000, but I don't know if he was just exaggerating, because I feel like I read somewhere it was 3,000. But like many thousands of rats, live rats for these scenes. Live rats. So he's a man dedicated to the cause, and I really respect that. He has also done The Witch, which is another film. I really like The Witch, and if you've seen The Witch, you know that he is a man. Sorry for the sniffles. He loves nuance. He loves nuance. This man loves like nuance and the feminist theory. If you know what the feminist theory is, or the feminist lens, and for example, in The Witch, it's about like I don't know, like a settler family, and the little girl's like strange crap starts happening on the farm, and they basically think the little girl's gonna be a witch or something. And like there's a goat in it, and the goat ends up being like Satan, and the goat is talking to her, but like at the same time no one believes her. It's a lot of stuff. And a lot of it you're like, is this real? Is this in her head? Is this like Puritan culture? Like, what are we talking about? So he is a very smart man. He also did The Lighthouse, which I have not seen, but I do want to see it because it has Edward Cullen in it. But there are a lot of takes on Nosferatus 2024 that I don't like. There are a lot of takes. A lot of takes I don't like. To understand Nosferatus, you have to look through the Gothic lens. The Gothic lens. Yeah, he directed Lighthouse. I wrote it down. Let me pull it up. Guys, I wrote notes for this. So you know I'm mentally ill. Okay? I wrote notes. I was really ready. I was like, let me get my notepad out. Okay, so this is from the Encyclopedia of the Gothic by Jared E. Holge. He says that what horror creatures or what monsters represent is, and I quote, standing is incongruous others to supposedly coherent humans. Monsters threaten to engulf people in the contradictions that can most destroy their desired natures unless they believe they have found ways to annihilate it completely or to bury it from view. These contradictions, of course, already exist within us, but we ignore them. We destroy the monster or else it will destroy us, physically and epistemologically. So, the Gothic lens is a lens that... Yeah, get out your pen and paper. I'm the only VTuber that is this mentally ill, that they'll pull out actual cited docs. Chat, this is a cited stream. Get out your MLA format pens, brothers. That is monster theory. So the Gothic lens is basically, the Gothic lens is usually described as some kind of horror-esque theme, some kind of horror-esque overarching foreshadowing of the story, and it often contains women being constrained either by men by husbands or by the constraints of society. It is often shown through this different levels of, you could say, the feministic lens or monster lens, but I am a specialist in the monster lens. So, when I read that quote, you're like, what does othering mean? Othering is, for example, say I'm hanging out with Twisty and Clara from Niji Sanji. I am not Niji Sanji, so I'm othered in a sense. They love me, so it's different. Othering is usually done by a society to ostracize a specific person or group of people. So let's say that all of my friends were dead. Not like me dead, but like 6 feet under dead. All of my friends. I'm othered by them because I am dead, but on the same plane I am undead. So a lot of times othering also can combine with intersectionality. If you know what intersectionality is, intersectionality a lot of times goes hand in hand with, I want to say with, like, I don't know how to say it, with, marginalization. That's a good word. Othering goes hand in hand a lot of times with marginalization. What does this mean? For example, like if there is like a society of white people and there is one person of color there, they are othered. If this person is also queer and everyone in the white community is straight, then they're having intersectional, different, basically issues in different levels of marginalization. So othering is basically the ostracization of a person or group, but not always consciously. Sometimes it's unconscious. You just notice it, you know? Like, you have hundreds of cats and there's one dog. And none of the cats hang out with the dog because it's a freaking dog, right? Cats don't really get along well with dogs all the time. So, that's basically what othering is. Monsters are things by society that are othered, and or they are a part of being within the realm of marginalization in a sense. So, what does this mean? What do all these fancy words mean? It means that monsters are both a part of society and a part of humanity, as well as something that is outside of our realm. Monsters in monster theory is described as a monster is described as a creature that holds a certain level of space. Thank you. Harker says hi. Hence my mic is broken. It either catches everything or nothing. Yippee! Monsters represent both humanity, humankind, and morality, while at the same time being an intersectional deity that intersects with what we see as not human, as inhuman. They straddle the line between reality and unreality, between understanding and not understanding. An example of this in the Nosferatu's movie is that while the people of London know him as a count, the people of Romania know of him as a legend. They speak of him as an evil deity, an evil spirit that lives on the hill, right? So in both situations, he's both perceived as two different things that are completely different from each other. A human ran, a wealthy human man, and some odd undead deity. So this is what a monster is. It's a creature that encompasses two different ideas put into one perspective. Zombies, for example, they are dead, but they're undead. If someone's dead, they're not moving and alive, but zombies are moving and alive. So they encompass both things. Another thing that people that I like to consider is that monsters straddle the line between the constraints of society as well as breaking societal norms. Very confusing. Very confusing. But they both are able to demonstrate, like, I'm trying to think. For example, another example. So, sorry, my mic's gonna dip a little bit because I'm trying to fix it. So, Count Orlok, Nosferatus, in the movie Nosferatus. An example of this would be that he holds on to the, like, I'm trying to think how to say this. Hi everyone joining. Trying to think how to how do I say this? Count Orlok is a good example of this. A good example of monster theory. Because in the film, Count Orlok wants nothing more than to possess Ellen, the main female protagonist. He wants nothing more than to possess Ellen, which is in this time, a very Protestant, very typical ideology that a man possesses a woman and he wants to possess her. But at the same time, there's a scene where he says, I cannot accept you until you willingly give yourself to me. That is something that is the exact opposite. So he he flows with society in the aspect that he said, I own you, I want you, you're mine. But then at the same time, he continuously breaks societal expectations by saying, I cannot take you unless you are willing to give yourself to me, and you have to be 100% willing. And he goes over that like 3 times in the movie. So it's a very important point in my brain. That is very important. So that is kind of the example of monster theory. That you are here nor there. I'm gonna give Nosferatus a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. It was very good. It was beautiful, beautifully shot. The acting was amazing. I thought Lily Rose Depp was a Nepo baby. She's not a Nepo baby. She's fantastic. Beautiful film, everything. It was very good. So, fun fact. When I went to school, when I was in university, I studied monster theory. So that's why I know so much. I studied monster theory, monsters, and folklore. I really like monsters. So, there are takes online I don't like. There are takes online I'm not a fan of. The biggest take online that I see, don't cancel me, chat. Don't cancel me, is that Count Orlok, Nosferatus, is a representation of Ellen, the main female's, SA, her past SA. And I don't really like this because I feel like it dwindles down Gothic literature to something that it is not. We will go more into my theories later, but Nosferatu, so, starts off with a woman named Ellen. She has very bad nightmares, where she is getting married to death, where she is falling to death, where she's getting freaky with death, right? She's getting freaky with the Grim Reaper in all of these dreams. Or she's getting married to the Grim Reaper. And they're having a lovely honeymoon. Like, and she has these dreams every day. And they're very distressing to her because they get more and more graphic and scarier by the day, and she doesn't know how to stop them. So, tactical, I was an art major. Well, I did opera. I did like other courses too, but then she meets her husband, and her husband makes the dreams go away. So basically they move to this, like, her husband gets a job offer, but he has to travel to Transylvania, I believe, and go sell a house to Count Orlok. And Ellen gets the dreams again, and in the dreams, he goes there and he dies. And she says, hey, babe, do not go. Do not go. And he says, I want to get a good job, to have good money, to support us, and have a good house. And she says, I don't care about the money. I don't care about our house. We could live in squattle. Like, I don't care. All I want is you, and I don't want you going. And he says, screw you, I'm going. So, that, a lot of people, you could analyze it in certain ways. For example, they're his bestie. Let me look up the name of his bestie. I forgot his bestie. His bestie, I only remember the name, which is a freaking Aaron Taylor Johnson, because I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. So his bestie, Aaron Taylor Johnson, is a very wealthy man, but he did not work for his wealth. He got it via inheritance. And there's a scene where they go to his house before Thomas, Ellen's husband, who's going to go see Count Orlok. Before they go, before they squiggle on and leave, they visit Frederick. Frederick has a beautiful house, and he has a wife, and he has like 2 little girls, right? And he's like, I love my wife. Wifey for lifey, right? And he's like, I literally cannot contain myself around my wife. I want to have 1,000 children because I love my wife so much. She's the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life. I want my wife. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's like a representation of male possession during the time. But I don't think that's true, because when you look through the Gothic lens, the Gothic lens is a very inherently sexual lens. So anyways, he loves his wife. And so Thomas says, hey, Ellen, my wife, I'm leaving. She does not want me to leave, and she's very sick. She gets these nightmares. Can she stay with you? So she stays with them. And Frederick's wife, Anna, is her bestie. They're BFFs. They're like lovers. So she stays with them. And obviously, as expected, the second Thomas leaves and goes to Count Orlok's house, she gets the dreams again. The second she's no longer by his side. And something interesting before she leaves is that, I forgot what they're called. They're called like wedding locks or something. But she gets a locket, and she puts a lock of her hair in the locket. She puts a lock of hair in her locket. And if you know what that means in, like, if you've studied Gothic literature, if you studied the Romantic period, what people would do is when someone would die, they would put a lock of their hair in a locket. And to me, because some people say, oh, it was the Count possessing her to give a part of herself to the vampire. And I don't see that. I see that as her knowing that by him leaving, it would be the downfall of their relationship, of their family. And so in that moment, she saw herself as dead. Because again, what they do in the times is they cut their hair and they put it in a locket when someone dies. The dead person's hair is in the locket. So he takes a locket, he leaves. She starts having dreams again, and she starts like seizing, right? Like, I mean, like, girl is like Like, and then the seizing, you're like, oh damn, like that's scary. And then the seizing turns to full on possession. Like she's like bent over upside down, like tweaking, like blood coming out of her eyes, vomiting, like possession, like the Exorcist level possession scenes are going on. And the guy is like, oh my god, we should get a doctor. So they get a doctor, and the doctor's like, put chloroform on her and she'll go back to sleep. I love medieval medicine. Anyways, so back to Thomas, who is at Count Orlok's house. Count Orlok's, yeah, like blah blah blah, buy me house. I want to buy a house. And he's like, you call me Lord, you call me Lord. That's it. And anyway, so then he like, I don't know how he realizes it. Oh, he says, I'm really tired, I want to go. And Count Orlok's like, no, you can't go tonight, you have to stay. And he's like, okay. And then he can't leave the house in the morning because everything is locked. And he starts getting nightmares just like Ellen, the same nightmares where Count Orlok's like boring him. Like literally Count Orlok is like full on like straddling him and boring his heart. If you notice, there are sexual undertones to that because it is Gothic literature. Hi, Taco. So, if you notice that, you know it's Gothic literature. So, anyways, he's like, this is freaky, I gotta go. He leaves, and basically he's leaving, and then the Count's like, he's like, oh my god, like, I think he's a vampire. So he goes and he finds Nosferatu's, Count Orlok's coffin. He opens the coffin, he sees Count Orlok's scrangly booty hole, and goes to kill him. And instead of like actually getting it, like all of a sudden he wakes up, grabs the spike, and like throws it away. And so he runs away. He's running away, and I think he falls out a window or something, right? But he's presumed dead. So Count Orlok's like, slay whatever, bye. I'm gonna go now. Because he's like, I'm gonna go on a ship and I'm gonna go to my new house that you sold me because I'll be close to your wife, right? So, anyways, Thomas, her husband, wakes up and he's in a nunnery, and they're basically like trying to get him unpossessed because he is possessed by Count Orlok, and it is, I believe he is dead, and I believe he's considered undead now, but I am unsure. I am unsure of if he actually died or not. And the fact that he was just chained to Orlok kept him alive because he fell very high. Because Count Orlok has several kind of like minions that do his will, and he wanted Thomas to be his minion. So anyways, Thomas wakes up in the nunnery and he's like, my wife's in danger, I must go to my wife. He gets on his horse and he goes. Count Orlok is on a boat with his mice, or his rats, going over to wherever the heck they are, England or whatever. And Ellen is still having seizures. So they call this specialist, right? And I love the actor who played him. It was William Dafoe. He's a fabulous actor. They call William. And he's like, I'm into the weird, I'm into the paranormal, and she's possessed by a demon. And then Frederick, you know, Ellen's husband's bestie, is like, you're weird. There's no such thing as ghosts. You're fricked up. You're weirdo. You're a weirdo. And he's like, no, like, I swear to God, like, does this look normal to you? She's literally in her sleep screaming, the ghost is coming, the demon is coming, let us be free, free me from my flesh. He's like, this isn't normal, King. And he's like, well, you're a bad doctor. So he's like, I'm gonna go investigate. Ellen's still freaking out, right? And so, then like you see, Nosferatu's like one of his minion guys. He's in like prison or something. He's like eating a rat. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. So, Frederick gets back, right? And he's super weak. Hi, Aaron. Welcome. Frederick gets back. He's super weak. He falls off his horse when he gets to his friend's, or not Frederick, Thomas. Thomas is super weak. He falls off his horse when he gets to Frederick's house. Ellen, like, runs out, and she's like, oh my god, my husband's here, but he's so sick. And he's, like, really freaked out. And they're like, damn. So they take him in, and he's like, hey, like, my wife was right. Like, something's wrong with that guy. Something's really wrong. Because, like, I knew, like, I should have listened to my wife. Happy wife, happy life. So she's trying to, like, get him back to health. But his friend, Frederick, at this point is, like, really, he's like, listen, bestie. He goes up to Ellen, he's like, you gotta get out of the house. Because he's like, this crazy-ass exorcist doctor guy comes in every day and is telling me you're possessed by demons and you're going to kill us. Like, you're possessed by demons and all of this weird stuff's been happening since you came here. You're freaking us out. Please leave, right? And she's like, well, you're literally his best friend. You're kicking him out when he's, like, so sick. And he's like, yeah. Something interesting to note, too, is that when Thomas is back, Ellen's nightmares completely stop and they transfer over to him. So he is now having the nightmares. But he's like, yeah, get the hell out of my house. I hate you. I've always hated you. He's like, I've literally always hated you. And she's like, okay, but if I leave, your wife is dead. And he's like, I don't believe you. So she leaves. Guess what happens? So Count Orlok's ship gets there. The ship crashes. Bajillions of rats run out from the ship. They carry the plague. And they run through the streets, these rats carrying the plague. And Count Orlok is now here. And guess what he does? Count Orlok rolls up to that house and he puts Frederick in a beautiful deep sleep. And then he kills his wife and kids. Right after Ellen said, yeah, if you kick me out, your wife and kids die. So. Yeah. She hears a noise in the night. It's her kids crying. So she goes to the kids' room. Frederick, her husband's not waking up. She runs to the kids' room and he's literally eating the children. It was very graphic, but I like that they put that in. And then he kills her. So. And before this too, so the night before, I forgot this part. The night before, Ellen and Anna, that's the girl's name. Anna is Frederick's wife, her bestie. Anna gets the dream of the Count, right? And when Ellen wakes up in the middle of the night, she sees her on the ground with rats eating her body. Rats are eating her body. And ever since then, she's like kind of freaked, like she's out of it, right? She's like Count Orlok's coming to save us, like blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm fine. But she's like crazy now. And so that was like really the nail in the coffin that made Frederick kick him out. Because right after she was like, I'm crazy, the exorcist comes. He's like, yep, now your wife's also possessed. And he's like, you know what? No, we are a good Christian family. Get the hell out. Get the hell out. So, the doctor and the exorcist and Thomas are like, we gotta go kill Count Orlok. We gotta kill that vampire. And Ellen has a dream, and the Count says, yeah, so you have 3 days. If you don't, like, want to, like, get with me in 3 days, I'm killing your husband. A slay. So she's like, frick. So they go to the funeral of the Anna and the little girls. They go to the funeral, and then they leave the funeral, and Frederick's like really fricked up. Like, looks nasty. He does not look well. They leave, and then the exorcist is telling her, like, hey, like, I know you know what you have to do. I know you know what you gotta do. And she's like, yeah, I know what I gotta do. And he's like, in another life, you would have made a great sister. You would have made a lovely nun. Like, I'm so sorry that is not this life. So, they're like, oh, like, and it's just her and the exorcist that are talking. No one else hears them. And so she leaves. And, then that night she goes back and she starts getting the visions again of Count Orlok. And she's like really fighting it. She's like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. And then, like, she goes up to her husband because it's, like, weird. Like, the Count's possessing her. She's like, I know that you sold me for gold. Like, I know you only see me as a body. Like, Count Orlok has been chasing me through millennias to find my soul and to find me. He traveled millions of miles to save me. He visits me in my dreams. You will never be half the man he ever is. He has put in more dedication than you ever will, blah, 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 right? And so, and then they get freaky. And while they get freaky, she's like, let's get freaky right now because Count Orlok is watching, so he'll know we're getting freaky. And she's laughing. She's like, ha ha ha. She's like, do you see this? Do you see me getting freaky with my husband? Because I fucking hate you. And we can get freaky all we want because we're in love. Anyways, so fast forward next day. They're gonna go kill the Count. And they leave Ellen at home, and Thomas, her husband, the doctor, and the exorcist all get together, and they're gonna go travel to the house, Count Orlok's castle. And they pass the graveyard because they're like, oh yeah, Frederick was supposed to come with us. Thomas's best friend, Frederick. And Frederick goes into the place where his wife's coffin is, and he commits necrophilia with his wife. That's right, chat. He sleeps with his wife, even though she is very much no longer with us. So they go and they find the sarcophagus or whatever you call it, the like little hut where the coffins are, and they see him dead, having sex with his wife, dead. And he's like, well, we have to burn all the bodies now because like Count Orlok or like whatever, like he's infected. He wasn't bitten by the vampire, but he's been infected with the vampire. So then they burn them all. And then they go over to his castle. And during this time, Ellen is like at home, and she's like puts on her wedding dress. And you're like, what the frick? And she opens all the windows. And so they get to Nosferatu's castle. They open it up, and that's when you see the 8,000 rats. And they open up the sarcophagus, and it is that one of his minions, right? The one I told you earlier was like eating pigeons or something, that he didn't really matter. It's his minions. And he looks to the doctor and the exorcist, and he says, you guys knew. You knew he wasn't going to be here. You knew he was going to go after my wife. And they're like, tee-hee, tee-hee. Tee-hee, how'd you know? How'd you know? How'd you know? And he's like, kill yourself. So then he goes and he runs to his wife, tries to get them home. Anyway, so Count Orlok shows up at her house, and he's like, hey. And she's like, hey. And he's like, do you accept me as your lover? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, well, you really have to mean it. Like, you have to give yourself to me willingly. This can't be forced. Even though he was like, you have to do it or I'll kill everyone. She's like, yeah, no, I love you. Whatever. So, they sleep together. Ellen and Count Orlok. And by the time that Thomas gets home, it is morning. And Ellen lays there dead with the dead, rotting body of Count Orlok on top of her. And the exorcist is like, yep, well, yeah. And then the movie ends. So, yeah. And something Count Orlok says in the movie several times is that he is an insatiable hunger. She says, do you love me? And he says, I cannot feel love. All I feel is hunger. And I know that I will never be satisfied, no matter how many millions, thousands of years I walk this earth. I will never be satisfied without you. But I do not love you. I am incapable of love because I am nothing but a primal hunger. So again, like I said earlier in my essay, monsters straddle the line between humanity, human morals, and the other. because having emotional hunger is a human emotion. Not being able to feel love is not a human emotion. So saying that he does not feel emotions, he cannot feel love, but he can desire someone as a hunger, shows him once again blurring those boundaries between conceptualization and understanding. So, yes. Yes, chat. Yes, I'm sure many of you are sitting there like, what the hell are you even talking about, Mion? What are you even talking about? It's been an hour. So, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for taking my class, chat. So, what does any of this mean? People want to say that Count Orlok represents something, whether that be a representation of Ellen's desires, in her sexual desires, her desires for unbound freedom, since Count Orlok is a boundless creature, and she wants to leave the bounds of society and the strict Puritan bounds, or that he represents an assault on her, and he is her trauma. And I'm here to say that I believe, with my studying, monsters do not represent a single person or a single person's trauma, but instead are allegories to the current society that surrounds the cast and the protagonists, specifically the protagonist that succumbs to the monster. The protagonist, in my opinion, that succumbs to the monster is often the protagonist most betrayed by the society they live in. Ellen, in all of this, was the most betrayed. No one listened to her when she said, "The demons are talking to me." Her husband still left her to go pursue riches. And everything that happened to her was due to the constraints of society. Society puts a pressure on her husband to leave and go get rich and get money. The doctors are groomed by a society to not believe women and to only believe that certain illnesses are real and others are not. And she is the greatest victim of Count Orlok. Or in the sense, she is the one that has to sacrifice herself for Count Orlok. And the thing is that, remember, he said, "I'm an insatiable hunger." When he finally sleeps with her, he dies. He dies. And that's romantic. And that's romantic because he's lived all of these years. He has riches beyond any imaginable idea. He talks about what does a monster desire? They talk about this. What does hunger desire? Hunger desires to consume all life. Hunger's desire is to consume, and it could continue consuming. But he says, if I have you, I will be satisfied. You are the only one that could quench my hunger. He has lived thousands of lives, but he is willing to give it up to be with her. And he also knows very well that if he is to sleep with her, he will die. 100%. He will die, but he is still wanting that. And he is still willing to do that. And that is all he wants. And his entire goal throughout the movie, you could say, is, in a sense, to die. And in a lot of monster theory, oftentimes you see that a monster's main goal and a monster's main moral objective. A monster's main morality is its desire for death. is its desire for human likeness. For example, Frankenstein's main desire was he wanted a bride. He didn't want to be alone anymore. He wanted love. He wanted what he could not have. He wanted what fundamentally he could not understand as a monster, which is love. Nosferatu wanted conceptually what he could not have, which is to die. So, Nosferatu, in my opinion, wanted to be rid of something that made him who he is, which is something that I think about monsters is very interesting, is that they often, their greatest crux, what makes them the creatures they are, is what they most desire to be rid of, and what they most desire to change, even at the cost of their own life. Nosferatu's, Count Orlok, whatever, he had riches, land. He talked about taking over the world. His hunger for power, his hunger for wealth, his hunger is what made him a good villain. But at the end, it is his hunger that he wanted to be rid of the most, even if it cost him his life. The same with Frankenstein. Frankenstein basically hazes, or Frankenstein's monster basically hazes Frankenstein into giving him a wife. And he says, if you give me a wife, I'll never talk to you again. I'll leave you alone. I will beseech you as my creator if I could just not be alone. But one of Frankenstein's core things is that he is a creature that is alone. He is one of a kind. He is so different that no one can understand him, which is why he was ostracized and othered. So. You were the monster all along. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is Nosferatu's a smash or a pass? Smash if his clothes are on. Pass if his clothes are off. Thank you! Thank you. I hope I did not bore you. I hope I did not bore you. Too much. Too much. I love to talk about theories and monster stuff. I love to talk about Gothic literature. I'm really not. Because he's really ugly naked. Like, he's really, 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 really ugly naked. Like, he's really not attractive. But when he has his clothes on, yeah. But also, like, I love Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård is my celebrity crush. Maybe because I am mentally ill. I don't, not because he plays Pennywise. I don't like Pennywise. I'm not attracted to Pennywise, chat. However, he was in The Crow. Thank you! I think it depends. What, did it put you to sleep? Thank you! Remember my Kohai? Mira? Fantasia? Mira? Do you remember her? I went with her to see it, right? And I thought she fell asleep during it. But, because she saw Sonic 3 earlier that day, and she fell asleep watching Sonic 3. She didn't fall asleep, apparently. But, half the time, like, I was sitting in the theater, and, like, because there's a lot of, like, sexual stuff. Gothic literature, a lot of times, not monster theory or monster literature, but Gothic literature is very often defined by how much sexuality is in it. And like literally the first scene is like Ellen moaning. And like the way she like, I'm sitting next to her and she looks at me like this and she's like, we're like looking and we're watching, she's like, Mion, what'd you take me to? Mion, what'd you take me to? Mion! We're sitting there and she's like, what did you take me to? Because I'm the one that suggested it. And she was like, the entire time, and she kept looking over me and she's like, why is there so much sex? And I was like, because it's Robert Eggers. That's what he does. It's like all he does. I didn't eat 12 grapes under the table. Because I was reading a BL. And I forgot. Yeah. Don't talk to me, chat. Don't talk to me, chat. Beseech me, chat. Beseech me. I didn't eat 12 grapes under the table. I didn't. So I'm gonna be... next year. There's always next year. I forgot. But yeah. Did you guys have any questions about my lecture? I hope you liked it. I hope it was good. I was so excited because I never get to talk about like weird stuff. You know? But yeah, so I saw it with Fantasia and we had a lot of fun, and then we hung out, and then we went in In-N-Out, and then we almost missed the movie. But it's okay because we got there in time, and that's all that matters. All that matters. But damn good! Arigato! Yeah, it was a really good movie. If you guys haven't seen it, I would suggest you see it. It's a little bit long, but it's very good. Don't see it with your parents. Don't see it with children. Don't. Yeah. That's my trigger. Don't. It's definitely not scary. I'm a big fan of horror when it's not scary. Like, there are no necessarily jump scares or anything like that. And I don't think that a good horror film or piece of literature needs jump scares. I think that the atmosphere in itself and the concepts presented should be scary enough to carry the story. And I think I did that. I think I did that pretty well. So whether you're going to see the 8,000 rats or the necrophilia chat, have fun. Have fun, by all means. The 8,000 rat scenes was good. It was like, don't see it if you're afraid of rats. I thought it was going to be like... So I'm not a Terrifier fan. I don't like the Terrifier franchise. I don't like horror films that are like, you know, cheap, for lack of a better word. I don't like horror films that are very slapstick, shock value, you know? Like, there's no point to it. Like, when Frederick slept with his wife, even though she was dead, there was a reason. It was because through the entire film, he talks about how much he loves her, how he can't contain himself when he's around her, how his happiest moments is when he's physically with her, right? And how he just adores her. Like, there's a way you can analyze that, right? You can't analyze frickin' the Terrifier and why he decides to, like, assault and, like, skin a woman. Like, there's nothing to analyze there. There's nothing to analyze there, you know what I mean? But, like, there's a rat scene in Terrifier where they put, like, I don't know, they put a tube down someone's mouth, and then they put it into their stomach, and they cut out, they put it in their mouth. And then they duct tape it to their mouth, and then they put a rat in it, and then they set the end of the pipe on fire, so the rat has to run forward. So the rat runs down the person's throat and into their body, and then they, like, cut open the stomach of the person so that the rat could get out. And I'm like, wow, that's... So I was really afraid that, like, the rat scene was just, like, a scene with bajillions of rats, which, like, I think is artistic. I don't think it's, you know, like that. But I was afraid it was going to be something weird like that, because that's something I can't watch. I don't like torture, personally. Not a fan of torture. It makes me uncomfortable. So I'm not big into the Terrifier franchise or, like, anything like that. I'm not a torture fan, unfortunately. I like Gothic things, so you do something freaky, I don't care, but don't do it freaky like that. I don't want to see someone's stomach be cut open and filled with rats. Exactly. Thank you, Defeat. Thank you, you get it. But yeah, it's a very symbolic film. There's a lot of layers to it. It's beautifully shot, beautifully done. You can analyze it so far, so deeply. Again, my favorite is the monster lens, but the Gothic lens also works. But yeah, I'm not a fan of a lot of horror movies. Like, I literally hate, everyone knows this. If you're new here, you might not know this. But I, with every fiber of my being, I hate Hereditary. Every day I wake up and I think I hate Hereditary. Hereditary is the worst film I have ever watched. It is awful. It's boring, dumb, confusing, stupid. It's... Oh my god, it was so good. You get it. Hi, Mackie! That's fair. That's so fair. That's so fair. I wouldn't say that the movie was well, there's over-sexuality in the sense that, like, you'll, like, open, like, I don't know, you'll watch, like some weird slasher movie and all the girls are in bikinis, you know, and the girls are, like, making out and stuff. This was more like it was for plot reasons, if that makes sense. A lot of it was for plot reasons, but yeah, so I wouldn't say it was overly sexual for that reason. Like, they weren't, like, scantily clothed or anything, but there was a lot of, like, sleeping with each other. But again, it was mainly for, like, plot reasons, because a lot of times in Ellen's dreams, she would start sleeping with the Nosferatus, and all of a sudden she'd start dying, and she'd start seizing and speaking like the devil. So but yeah, the shot composition was beautiful. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of slashers or things like that. I do like certain movies, like I like Scream. I like Scream. Scream was good. That's fair. But it wasn't fan service because it wasn't like, ooh, you know, it was like she's like possessed. Oh my god, Defeat. I love you. I love you. Yeah, because a lot of it is resigned in the, like, I thought something very powerful during the movie was when Thomas was hugging her, and she was like, in the movie, for those of you not seen, after she's like gets freaky or she like sees the count or something, Thomas, her husband, hugs her and she says, "Don't touch me, I am impure." And he says, "I do not care." And that's a big thing for that kind of culture, you know, because she's like, "I'm impure." Like, the count has left his like mark on me. He wants me to be his, and he says, "I do not care. I will fight for you." But yeah, I thought that was very beautiful and I thought it was a big pointer because a lot of people say Thomas did not care about her because he did not stay and he just wanted the money and to fulfill his role as a male figure in society. But I don't believe that, because if he wanted to fill his role as a male figure in society, he would not have told her that he did not care if she was dirty or not. That is not something that a man in that time period would willingly state, you know? So I believe that's kind of silly. I believe he did love her. No, what she said, I'm impure. You can't love me, I'm impure. He says, "I do not care." But it was like, oh my god, I was like crying. I was like, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of like, I'm a big literature horror fan, but not a big movie horror fan. Like, a lot of people are like, "Why haven't you seen like all the Saws, or why haven't you seen like these classic horror movies?" And it's because it's just a lot of them don't have enough substance for me. Oh my god, Defeat is like, I feel like I'm the teacher in class, right? And Defeat's the one that like did his homework early, and like everyone's like, "Shut up," and he's in the back raising his hand. He's like, "I have the answer to that question, Mion." Gold star. Gold star, exactly. Yeah, because it's like, it's a desperate, it shows like a desperation in the movie. Like, a lot of the sexual acts, almost every single one serves a purpose, I feel like, other than the dream ones, which is with the count, which I feel is also specific, because I feel like the dream ones were only for like physical pleasure, if that makes sense, when every other one in real life had a real meaning and a real purpose to it, whether that be to say screw you to the count or to kill him. Yeah, gold star. I love talking about this kind of stuff because I'm a nerd. But I'm not like a cool nerd, like a Yu-Gi-Oh nerd. I'm a nerd who reads old books. Yes. But yeah, I mean, I love analyzing films, and I feel like in this day and age, it's extremely hard to find films that are analyzable. But yeah, I freaking hate Hereditary. Because Hereditary is an awful movie, and I think it's trying to be something it's not. So, but yeah, Robert Eggers is a fantastic I almost said conductor. Oops, music brain. He's a fantastic director. Did he do Suspiria? Did he? Robert Eggers, I gotta look up. I think I had done Suspiria. I saw Suspiria too. Suspiria was good. Not as good as Nosferatu, but I know it was a remake. IMDb. he did not do Suspiria. Someone did a remake of Suspiria. That was decent. How is the Lighthouse isn't horror though, right? But I want to see Lighthouse because it has Robert Pattinson in it. I think he's a real good actor. I don't know the premise of the Lighthouse, but I like Lighthouses. Yes, he did The Witch. I loved The Witch. The Witch is such a well done movie. I love how they made you think, you know, who is the power that is going into these decisions? Is it these magical wishes? Is it these magical witches who live in the woods that are controlling the little girls? Is it the little girl's own will to willingly become a witch? Or is it just the devil himself? You know, I like how it's very open-ended like that. Whoa! Wow! Ooh. Okay, I'll look it up. I'm gonna write down. Yeah, I'm very like, I don't like, but yeah, I could literally go on such a long rant about Hereditary. If you knew me before I re-debuted, you know I hate Hereditary. Because, like, for example, in Nosferatu, they're telling you, if you watch it and you don't analyze anything, you would still understand it. If you don't have pre-existing knowledge when it comes to movies like the stupid Hereditary, you're not going to know what's going on. And it wanted to be an art house film so bad. It wanted to be an art house film so bad. Oh my God, so bad. And then they weren't. Like, they were like, you know what's scary? A child with a disability. Yeah! And I was like, bro, please. I saw Slender Man the same week I saw Hereditary. Slender Man was better. There's my silly face. Yeah! Oh, wait, here. Oh, sorry. Silly face! Yeah! Hereditary's awful. Hereditary's really bad. It's like, I went to an art school, so I can say this. It was trying really hard. It felt like something I would see at like a senior project showing. They put so much crap into it. It was like a sandwich that has too much filling in it that you don't even know what the sandwich is anymore. Like Nosferatu's is like a sandwich that has really high quality turkey and really high quality cheese and like lettuce, right? Good. And then this one's like has a low quality, a bajillion different items in one sandwich, and you're like, oh, okay. I actually have not seen Midsummer because my first movie by that director was Hereditary, and I was too afraid to watch it. But if we want to have another movie talk, maybe I will watch it. How did Slenderman end? I can't stick out my tongue. That's the best I could do, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Rainbow Dash, but I love you. Slenderman actually falls on a window. I don't even remember. Slenderman was like, I don't even remember. It was very like, we have to stop with the power of friendship and find this book and do this thing. I think she fell out a window, though. I think she fell out a window. But I'm not saying I would recommend Slenderman, but, you know. But also, like, you have to understand, I also like the Predator franchise. So I'm not saying, like, I am a connoisseur. Like, for example, like, the Predator 2018 one, the one it was very, like, it felt like Predator, if Predator had a baby with, like, Suicide Squad, it was very Suicide Squad-y, very, like, Oh, if we're together, we could do anything. I'm gonna say a bad word. And I actually really liked it. Did I think it was the best Predator movie? No, absolutely not. But did I think it had a lot of analytical layers that you could look through? No, it had zero. But I thought it was a fun movie. I wasn't annoyed watching it. I wasn't pissed off. It was a fun movie. It had a beginning, middle, and end. It was fun. It was a fun movie. And I think they just wanted to make a fun movie. The ending was horrific, but if you cut out the last like 2 minutes, it's a great movie. It's a great movie, right? It's fun. It was a fun movie. And I don't think movies always have to be good. They just have to be fun. I don't think that happened there's like 3 or 4 Slender Man movies, I think. I think so. Yeah, that was well, I hated the ending because they're like you're watching The Predator, and if you know Dark Horse Comics, you know. And I'm like, you guys, Dark Horse Comics, you have Hellboy. Put Hellboy in. Put Hellboy in. Why are you putting goddamn freaking Iron Man in? No one cares. No one here likes Iron Man. And they're like, yeah, I'm Iron Man now. I was like, this is so stupid. I was so angry at the ending. But other than that, it was a fun movie. It was a fun movie, you know? And I think, like, you're allowed to like fun movies. I loved Pan's Labyrinth. That's another really good horror movie. If you'd consider, I think you'd consider horror. I like, Interview with the Vampires, my favorite movie. And I like, what else? I like, it's very hard for me to finish horror movies if they get boring. Try to think. Prey was beautiful. Prey was fantastic. What else? I need to watch The Substance, chat. I need to watch The Substance. I haven't had the opportunity. I've been waiting for it to come out on a streaming platform. I need to watch The Substance. If I don't watch it, I'm gonna die. If I don't watch it... Oh, yes, I'm looking towards the new Wolfman movie. Of course I am. But I need to watch The Substance. The Substance looks phenomenal. Demi Moore looks like she did a phenomenal job. She won the Grammy or the Golden Globe or whatever. She won something for it. But that movie looks really good. And that's one you could probably analyze. I have not seen Wolfman 2010. I don't watch a lot of horror films because I have a tendency to find them annoying or boring or silly. I'm very picky. I'm an elitist. Yeah, I heard Substance was phenomenal. I won a Golden Globe. I don't even think horror movies ever won like a Golden Globe like that. That's crazy. But trying to think what else. I think The Underworld is a fun series. Again, I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece, but I think the Underworld series is a fun watch. That's another fun one. It's just fun. It's campy. I really like sci-fi horror. I think that my favorite Alien movie was the first Alien movie. I think the first one, in my opinion, I've seen like only 4 of them though, but I think the first Alien movie was phenomenal. I didn't like the second or third, which I know everyone's favorite's like the second or the third, but I really liked the first one. I thought the first one was absolutely phenomenal. No, but that sounds good, Aaron. I'll check it out. What was I just saying? What horror movie was I just talking about? What horror movie was she talking about? Blah, 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 blah. I have not seen Boo is Afraid. Little Johnny. I have not seen it. I did not see Alien Romulus. I wanted to catch up on all of the movies prior because I didn't know if it had anything to do with the prior sequences of films. So I was trying to catch up on all of them before I watched Alien Romulus, but I definitely want to watch Alien Romulus. I loved the first Alien though. The others felt a little campy for me, and I do like campy. Like, I like Scream, but I think the thing is that, like, to me, if you want a campy horror film, it has to be a very straightforward concept. You cannot get away with campy and complicated. They do not work. Campy and complicated makes it bad. That's why I feel like I didn't really like some of the other Alien movies, because it was campy, but it was too convoluted. There were too many things going on. There was too much new tech involved. It didn't make sense. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we want to watch along. We should do a member watch along. Of something. I know we did a watch along, but I don't know how to do watch alongs on Discord because, like, Netflix, like, blacks out your screen. You know? You know, I want to see Prometheus because they didn't use CGI. I'm a big anti-CGI, anti-AI, a very big physical girl. But again, I went to a theater school, so I would make set pieces. I would do things. I feel like there is a liveliness you cannot capture with computer imaging. You know? Like, I know the actor in Prometheus that did, like, the weird alien baby thing. I heard he was great. I think it was great. But, yes. I also did not like the original Predator. I love Predator. Predator is one of my favorite horror franchises because of how complex the alien life is. But it's extremely hard to watch the first one. The language is extremely outdated. It didn't age well, in my opinion. Predator 1, the first Predator, did not age well. Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger, love him, great guy. His accent pisses me off in the first one. The movie is cool. I just feel like it didn't age as well as it could have. Like, I feel like Alien aged a lot better. But, yeah, I feel like it didn't age as well as I wish it was. You know? I would love to see a remake of the original Predator. But, I mean, I like it. It's fine. It's just not to, like, Prey. I thought Prey was better. Prey was phenomenal. I also like Alien vs. Predator, though, so. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Prometheus. Like, I also liked, FNAF. So, I thought FNAF was surprisingly very good. Five Nights at Freddy's. Obviously, I'm not like, oh yeah, it's like Nosferatu. But I thought for the budget and for like the 6 months it took to make it, I thought it was very good. Especially the animatronics. I thought Blumhouse blew it out of the freaking water. Blew it out of the water. I thought Blumhouse blew it out of the water. I thought they did such a phenomenal job with the puppets. I really liked that. I love when people use physical things, you know? Like, I love when they put the person in the suit and they make the person walk around. That is what brings me joy. I'm not, there's just something so special about knowing an actor's in there suffering. Just something so special. Trying to think of other ones. Yeah. The budget was nothing. The budget was dirt. The budget was absolutely dirt. They did such a good job with the budget. You could tell, I think, with FNAF. Even though FNAF was not that scary, even though FNAF was extremely campy, FNAF is a movie that you can, like, sit down and you can watch. And you can tell there's a lot of love put into it. You could tell that this film, the person who put together this film loved it, you know? You could tell that there was passion in the project. And I think that a lot of movies, horror or not, really lack that, you know? I feel like there are a lot of movies that are made to make money, and I don't think FNAF was one of them. I think FNAF was for the fans. And I think that there was you could tell there was so much love put into that movie, in my opinion. And I feel like a lot of movies, you just can't tell that there's that love there, you know? There's this movie called The Priest. It's like a vampire movie that literally no one's seen, and it's really good too. I think it was like a sci-fi original movie or something. Sci-fi original movie. Exactly. You're FNAF's bigot hater! Get out. I'm kidding. Get out of here. Get out. I'm kidding. I could see what you mean. FNAF, though, I think for me, as someone who comes from the world of theater and of making things, I think the fact that the director or Blumhouse, whoever it was so adamant on putting the extra money down to get real life suits, real life animatronics. I think that speaks a lot to me, because it would have been a lot cheaper to do CGI. And they had a exhibit near me. I can't stick my tongue out. I can't stick it out. And they had an exhibit near me showing the suits. And I didn't go, but my friend went and she took pictures. Phenomenal. Beautiful, beautiful, high quality. You could tell that the people who made them were very invested in it. And I think it's really hard nowadays to find the people who really put in a lot of work into costume design, monster design, things like that. So I feel, at least in that aspect, I feel like it was very much loved, because it would have been cheaper just to do CGI. Yeah! New mod, or don't trick me. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I liked The Priest. It was good. It kind of gave me like Trigun vibes. I do. I love when people take pre-existing ideas and change them. Like, they made the vampires like aliens. That was really cool. That was really cool. I love when people do that. I love when people do that. But yes, new stuff is coming. My tongue doesn't move because my mama artist did not draw it to move. So that's why. Yeah, Mad Max Pizza, yeah! It was fun. It was fun. I need to rewatch it to like get better thoughts on it because I haven't seen it in a long time. But I did really enjoy it. I did really enjoy it. I saw Midnight Mass. You're gonna hate me for this. Defeater eater. I didn't like Midnight Mass. I thought the vampires themselves in Midnight Mass was a very good concept. I thought it was very well done. But it felt, so I have this theory. And I call it the lover's theory or the loser's theory. And it's because I did not like the new It movie. The like 2017, 16, whatever it was. I didn't like the new It movie. It felt too much like, together, if we stick together, we could defeat the evil clown. Together we could defeat the evil clown and we could beat the monsters. You know, like very, like, not unrealistic, but very happy ending core. I love a good happy ending. But I love a good we could do it moment. I love a good happy ending, but the part of it that is supposed to be scary in the novel is not the clown. The reason it is a scary movie is because of the societal circumstances surrounding the city. It's because of the way the children are treated. That's the real reason the movie's scary or uncomfortable. And I felt like, well, they did show some of it. I felt like it was put a lot on the clown. But there was this feeling of, if we stick together, we could do it. This feeling of like, not holier than art thou, but a feeling of like, I don't know how to say it. Like, hi Frankie! Like, a feeling of like reassurance that if the kids stick together, they'll get through it. You know, it's just very like, it was a weird, like a PG feeling to it. And I feel like that themology, that loser-lover theory, that feeling has transcended a lot of horror films. And it started with the It movie. Because now we have like Stranger Things. And I get the same feeling from Stranger Things when I watch it. Like a mishmash bunch of kids coming together to defeat the bad guys. Like, and same with like, you know, what else? Same with, the other movie I was just talking about. Midnight Mass. Midnight Mass had that feeling. And I feel like it's like a forced feeling of, like, I feel like when you put younger people and children into horror movies, the child character has to adapt to the rules of the horror world. The horror world cannot adapt to the rules of the child's perspective. And I feel like in a lot of these cases, the horror movie will bend to the child's perspectives. You know? Pennywise, if you're not afraid of it, it won't hurt you. We gotta face our fears together. You know? It's not like we have to figure out how not to be afraid of our deepest, darkest fears so that we're not killed by this clown that manifests on our fears and dreams. Or that manifests on our worst fears. You know what I mean? There's this feeling of, it's like a genuine belief that the horror world will bend to the rules and ideology of a child or of a main character's interpretation of it while not being camp, if that makes sense. Because like you said, Chucky, that's why I brought it up. Chucky's very camp, you know? I'm reading. Yeah, Aaron, yeah. It's not that I wanted more suffering and despair. I wanted, like, I didn't want these kids to, I wanted the situationship of the world, and I wanted the actual horrors to affect these children. Like, for example, Children of the Corn. If you take Children of the Corn, I like Children of the Corn. Children of the Corn is a good example of what I mean by children adapting to the rules of a horror situation versus a horror situation adapting to the rules of a child. In Children of the Corn, the children adapt and survive and grow in this society without adults, right? There are a lot of instances where the kid's gonna be like, together, we could be free. We could rule the world and make a happy community. Like, no, they were tied to the constraints of a pre-made expectation that was manufactured to them. And they are victims of it. Because I feel like a lot of times a child in horror is almost always a victim. And if you, but I wish that they showed the child being not only a victim of society, but a victim of Pennywise psychologically, in the sense that they couldn't think of, like, together we'll beat it, you know, but oh my god, we're all going to die. But yes. But again, I feel like that kind of like, if we're together, we can all do it. Or, you know, mama. Like, there's this sense of, like, I think the original Children of the Corn. There's a sense of, like, the power of friendship. And, again, like, society bends to the rules of the protagonist. Or the rules to what is digestible in a lot of these, in, like, almost like a lot of television produced shows or movies, like It, like Midnight Mass, like I don't even know, like what was it, the one with 11, I'm forgetting the name. I definitely think that if they played Devil May Cry first, they would have been totally better. 100%. 100%. But yeah, my Midnight Mass, to me, I loved how they did the vampires. I don't love the, like, the woes. Oh, like it was, oh my god. Like, it was annoying. If I'm being honest. It got frustrating and annoying. I want to know what's going on in the main story. Stop showing me side characters, you know? And then so many people died. And it felt unnecessary. It felt unnecessary, in my opinion. And very, like, again, it had that, like, it'll bend to me because I'm the protagonist, you know? kind of feeling to it. Like the cop guy, like, I figured it out, so will bend to me. Or the girl, you know, that main girl or whatever. She's like, I figured it out, so, you know, everything will work out. I'll sacrifice it. It's just this feeling of, like, inauthentic sacrifice. Ah! Stranger Things. Thank you, Defeat. Thank you, Defeat. I mean, again, I thought it was a very good vampire concept. I thought it was a fantastic vampire concept. I love vampires. I love vampires. Because vampires, again, like I stated earlier, monsters, in my opinion, I have a quote. Chat, I wrote it down in your study guide. Monsters simultaneously warn us about what is to come and reveal what is already present. They point beyond, yet at the same time they point within us. Monsters are both a reflection of our current society, as well as the society that is to come. If I gave it a limited budget, what would that maybe maybe Carmilla, or oh my god, I forgot what it's called. It's not vampire, but it's like Red Death or something. It's a poem or a short story. I love monsters. Yes. Trying to think what else. The Troop would be a good horror movie, but it's not Gothic, so I don't know. Maybe it's Red Meridian. It's the one where it's like there's a party with people and then they lock everyone in the party and there are colored rooms and they wait in the red room and then death goes to every room. Yes, Aaron, I think that's it. Then he goes to each room and he like kills them. It's like very symbolic. I think that would be a very good adaptation. That one. Yes. I also love to see Beowulf adapted. I would love to see some older literature adapted. Yes, I believe it's Poe. You know, more Shakespearean things, medieval, because I feel like with our technology now, we could make very convincing, like, productions. What else? Vampire Vampyr. That would also be a good remake. god, if we could get a Trinity Blood remake. Yes. I think. No. I read the Count of Monte Cristo. That was a very good one. That was very good. I liked the Count of Monte Cristo. I don't think we will ever get an adaptation of the Count of Monte Cristo. But that's very good. I like the Count of Monte Cristo. The anime's good. The anime's good too. The anime's very good too. Love the Count of Monte Cristo anime. That was really, really good. My favorite adaptation of that book, actually. What other? Phantom of the Opera, and I get to be in it. The Phantom of the Opera is there in his eyes. I don't think I've seen the movie. Anime's very good. The animation is spec-freaking-tacular. The animation's so good, bro. The animation is so freaking good. The animation. Christine! Christine! In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came, my power over you, na 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 na. In sleep I dream of him, before Did you know, fun fact, I almost auditioned for I think the Broadway Phantom of the Opera, or the touring one. I got recommended, but I didn't end up making the audition. But I almost auditioned for it. In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came, my power over you, na na na, na 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 na. I love spooky stuff. Also like freaking The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Ugh. I feel its fingers, night for Oh, I like Lovecraftian. Moonfall that falls from you. I love spooky. Or Mystery of Edwin Drood, Phantom of the Opera, what is it? Jekyll and Hyde would be a great remake too. Jekyll on in his eyes, love is worth forgiving for. Night I realize everything worth living for is there in his eyes. I love that. Colleen Ballinger, I think her name is. She's one of my favorite theater performers. She's such a good singer. Holy moly. Like there's this one song that goes like good and evil, then try try to be evil and good. Oh my god, she does it so well. So well, Trap. So well, Trap. But yeah, I hope one day I'll be able to sing lots of songs for you in a theatrical manner. But yeah, I'm glad. Did you guys like the stream though? Was it okay? Was it okay? In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came, my power over you. Did you guys like today's stream? Did you like my yappin'? My zatsuin? My zatsuin? Yay! I'm sorry my mic is funky. I'm trying to, sorry, it's low again. I'm trying to fix it. Thank you everyone again so much for everybody who joined. Thank you, arigato. Thank you who followed, members, blah, blah, blah. There's a possibility I'm not seeing it because I muted my notifications. So if you did become a member or do anything and the notification did not pop, please yell at me, and I will be like, thank you. But if you didn't do anything, still thank you for coming. Ah! Ah! I hate you. Thank you, Tactical. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My new Mikey. My new Mikey. Thank you, Tactical. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tactical. I'm about to cry. Yeah, because you make me cry. You make me cry. Thank you, Tactical. I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you. Look at me. Thank you, Tactical. The third of Tactical Tycoon. No. If you were in the Discord, I would name you Tactical Tycoon. Because you could name people, right? In Discord, you could give them a name. Slap a name on him. Schmap a name on him. Oh, there you go! Now I won't sound like dog as much. I'm... But... You do though. You have me going through every extreme emotion on a daily basis. Rage, joy, depression. Yeah, you could change it. Yeah, you could change it. What was I gonna say? Thank you. Oh, thank you, Tactical. Thank you. I don't deserve you. Oh. Now, I'm really excited for you guys to see my new thing coming out because I had to. Well, depression, not really. I'm lying. I just was trying to think of an extreme emotion. Joy, you make me cry. They're happy tears, but crying is crying. Oh my god, I burped. Freak, what was I gonna say? My power over you. Oh! I am hopefully moving, to, move soon. And when that happens, I will have a very, very good room to stream in. Everything will be padded like my crazy cell. Crazy cell, yippee, yeah, bye. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, technical. Thank you. I'm gonna go eat food, I think. Maybe I should eat food and dress appointment. Schedule is going out tonight. Because they messed up at work, my work schedule was canceled this week, so I get to stay home and hang out with you guys. Yippee! So if you have any game suggestions or anything like that, let me know. I think we're gonna play Marvel Rivals, maybe Infinity Nikki, probably a horror game. Maybe a new horror game. I heard people are playing that one horror game, the Yandere kind of one. I might try that one out. I might do a watch along. We'll see. I'm gonna see maybe if Nenya wants to play League. I want to do the return of the singing streams too, the singing lesson streams. But yeah. But thank you guys so much. We're rating. Who are we rating? We're rating. I think we're gonna raid. Lillian. Yes, Lillian. Well, thank you guys so much, arigato. I hope to see everybody soon. But for now, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Maybe I could Lethal Company. Oh, okay. Bye, bye, guys. Bye. Thank you again.